Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone, to Inside the Alley. We are so happy to have you here and my guests in studio here at the Public Media Network. I'm Adam Weiner. I'm the Executive Director of Farmers Alley Theater. I'm also the your humble host for this show. I am joined today. It's a chilly February day, but we're warming up by making such beautiful art and such beautiful cakes with our production of The Cake, which is opening this Friday at Farmers Alley. I have the two stars of the show here with me, Zoe Vonder, Haar, and Steve Isom. Thank you so much for chatting with us today. Appreciate it.
Of course, glad to be here.
Yeah, so we just bring in whoever's in town, usually in the shows. We want to get them here, sit them down, chat a little bit about it, especially for you guys, because both, if you don't know, both Steve and Zoe are St. Louis natives, or they've lived in St. Louis for a long time. And Zoe has been on the Farmers Alley stages a few times with us, starting in 2017. Was that? It should have been you?
Yes.
It should have been you as the first show at the Little Theater. What a wonderful performance as the mother. I can't remember her name. Oh, my goodness. Judy. Thank you.
Judy.
And so funny, so great. And she joined us again 2 times last season.
Bridges
of Madison County. And then A Doll's House Part 2 this past, not this past fall, but the fall of 2018. 2 great shows as well. This is Steve's first time here, so we welcome you, but you're not a stranger to Zoe. How did you get wrangled into doing this show?
Well, first of all, it's not wrangled. I'm thrilled to be here. I love this play so much. Right, so Zoe actually was cast in the role, which is really the starring role of the show, the center pillar of the show.
We'll give a rundown on that real quick, yeah.
And Zoe's character has a husband in the show, and so she mentioned to me that they were doing this show, and I sent in a tape. Zoe and I have done about 40 shows together.
Oh my goodness.
We've worked a lot together, and so I thought it'd be fun. And I'm so happy to be here.
Have you ever played a married couple before?
We played romantic interests. Oh yeah, we did, in Gypsy.
Oh yeah.
Were you Mama Rose and you
Mama
were Herbie?
Rose and Herbie.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
But usually we play kind of comic adversaries a lot.
Yes, nice. People who hate each other.
Oh, well, you guys...
Just like real life.
In the show, you guys certainly love each other. That's for sure. The characters of Della and Tim. And The Cake, what is The Cake about? Well, it stars Della, who is a wonderful baker in North Carolina. She runs her own little pastry cake shop down there with her husband, Tim, who's a plumber. And as the show opens, we learn that she's been invited to be a contestant on the Big American Bake Off, one of the hot new cooking shows. Obviously, it's not a real show, based on like the British Bake Off.
Total takeoff of the British Bake Off.
Of course, yes. So and there's a British announcer and everything, a disembodied voice that we hear throughout the show.
It's a very important part of the show.
Mm-hmm. So she's getting ready for that, but in come these 2 young women, one of which is Della's not her goddaughter, but I would say, but her best friend's daughter. Now her best friend unfortunately passed away. This Jen's mother, Jen, the character of Jen. And she comes back. She lives in New York, and she comes back to the bakery. She said, "Oh, we're so glad to see you. I'm getting married." And Della says, "Wow, wonderful. Who's the lucky guy?" And she says, "Well, it's a woman named Macy." And
of course, before that, she agrees to make the cake.
Yes.
So
that's true.
Makes it even harder.
Mm-hmm. So kind of a rip from the headlines. We've all heard the stories of the bakery who refused to bake the cake, and it became a big story. This is not necessarily that, but it's a much more intimate character study work of people who are struggling to find common ground, I think, would you say?
Yeah, I think every character in this show makes some effort to find common ground by the end of the show. Mm-hmm. And it is based off of that headline that we've all heard of the cake baker refusing to bake a cake for a gay couple. But it's complicated and by the fact that, as you said, it's like her goddaughter.
It's a personal issue as well.
So that makes it all more
And
difficult.
Tim, your character has a very much more, I guess, a black and white.
Right, Della
At least-
is very torn in this show, and I think one side of it is the two women who come in from New York, and the other side of it is Tim, who is shall we say, more of a traditionalist.
I say yes. But he certainly has love for his wife.
Oh, absolutely.
Supports her, wants to make it work, and what he does in the show, what they do both in the show to strengthen their relationship, I think is nothing short of adorable. I will use that word again, adorable, charming, and just so really, really lovely. Don't want to spoil anything.
There's some good surprises in the show,
Yes.
we'll just say that.
But I think
I'm going to think adorable tonight during all the surprises.
But I think it helps that you guys have been in 40 shows together.
Oh, it
and
does.
that-
In
yes.
fact, that was one of the main reasons I mentioned it to Steve, because it's
Helps to be comfortable.
very intimate, some of the things we do. and
Because
it's-
Della has to, she struggles not only with, what do I have to do to bake my cake, or it's her longtime relationship with her husband.
Right. So,
And what does it mean to continue on and have this
Yeah.
connection with somebody? For
so
so
having
many years?
somebody you're comfortable with
Yes.
is a big thing.
Yes.
So.
The show is very funny. We didn't mention this. It's written by Becca Brunstetter, who is one of the story editors and writers for This Is Us
Right.
On NBC. This Is Us is not necessarily considered a comedy. It's a very serious show, but it has the same great, poignant, eloquent writing and characters that show has, I think.
She's really skilled, I think, at dialogue, first of all. She's a
Mm-hmm.
great dialogue writer. And she's also really good at taking heavy subjects, making them feel very real, but then injecting a ton of humor into it as well. It's genuinely funny,
Oh,
but it
very
also
much so.
genuinely deals in a very real way with issues.
Yeah, especially, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, in real life, you oftentimes laugh during very serious moments.
You have to, and I think
Right.
humor makes, that's what I think, I always say, theater is great when it brings people together in one room and starts great conversations, and it's the greatest way to examine the human condition, and because you see these people right in front of you going through, and when it's done well, I mean, it can be profound, particularly in the intimacy of our space. You've done shows when we were at the Little Theater, which is
Right.
a traditional proscenium space, and Farmers Alley is a small black box. And, when the Cake premiered off Broadway, it's still in a big house of like 600, 700 people. Or when you see these small shows, which there are many of them, and they're great, you're still seeing them from such a different distance, rather. So I toot our horn every time we do this, but it's great to come into Farmers Alley, see something so intimate, and get a great, unique theatrical experience.
Right.
As my first time here, I have to say that the theater itself is wonderful. You can tell that the connection between the actors on stage and the audience is profound in that little place. It's nice.
So it's going to be really interesting to see how audiences react to this show, not just with your characters, but also we haven't really talked about Molly and Tia,
Right.
Molly Spearoff and Tia Pinson, who play Jen and her partner Macy, respectively. Molly is a current student at Western Michigan University. It's her first show with us, and she is great. She brings such a natural... I root for her as soon as I see her. I want her to make the right choice, just as I want Della to do. And she struggles as well, because she has this North Carolina identity where she grew up, and then she moved to New York and became a hipster liberal, I guess you could say.
Right.
Not so many words, but
And dated boys, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere,
but her
falls in love with a woman, wasn't looking for it, so she's got all that conflict of where did this come from and how do I deal with that?
and she has some really, I think, great discussions, not just with her partner Macy, but with you
Right.
as well, about what it means to struggle with that identity, and not just being a woman, but also being from where she grew up,
Right.
and the values that each place hold, which there are meaningful things to have on both sides. And again, they call this, a lot of people call the show even-handed. I mean, like you said, Steve, before we went on the air here, that there is a tone and obviously a stance that the author is making.
Sure.
But at the same time, having the other characters, I think, be real, or as you said, I think, like, not bad people, right?
Right.
They're not caricatures.
No, not at all.
Right.
And I think I already said this, but No, it's all based in reality. And I think the writer herself has some roots in North Carolina.
Yeah.
And so she writes of these people with affection. And she knows these people, you know. But on the other hand, you know, I think she comes from a fairly, probably urban liberal point of view now. And so I think that's the tone of the show, probably more towards them. But everybody in the show moves towards everybody else in the show. No one gives up on their convictions.
Right.
But everybody makes some sort of concession to bring peace to the situation by the end.
And everybody explains their point of view very well. Everybody's got some meaty dialogues that I think will help people in the audience.
Yeah, everybody certainly has moments.
Understand that it's just not, you know, oh, I decided to be gay, or I decided, you know, this is why I follow the Bible. You know, I mean, there are some really deep and interesting views that I think can help.
Yeah.
I think they're helpful.
And it all rotates around Zoe's character.
Right.
Like, for instance, I don't have any scenes with either
with anybody else.
Tia or
yeah.
Molly. I only have scenes with Zoe. And I sort of am at one end of the spectrum. And then Tia's character, I would say, is at the other end of the spectrum, being very urban and woke.
Right.
And
struggling her. I mean,
but we
she
never
struggles too,
have a direct conflict, but all this conflict pours through the body of Della. You know, and she and Molly as well, I think, are the ones who have the real turmoil inside them.
But you know what? I think if the folks that come see this show, I think they're going to be pleasantly surprised of how much they connect and enjoy this new work. I mean, it's kind of hot off the presses. It was off Broadway this fall, and it's become one of the most popularly produced plays in the country. And there's cake involved. Are you kidding? You know, in fact, I don't know.
Stay to the end, everybody.
Stay to the end, because if don't leave, because guess what? You know, it wouldn't be a show called The Cake without you getting some cake.
And it smells
at the end
really good in
of the show, right? And this is
it's a full sensory experience.
Thanks to our friends at Sarkozy's Bakery, a wonderful bakery downtown, who is baking all of the pastries and the cakes that are actually eaten in the show. Yeah. There are many that are not. And they're designed.
And those are the ones that really smell. And so all you can do is look and smell, and it's really hard.
I'm addicted to Sarkozy's now. I'm there twice a week.
Nice.
Yeah.
But there's so many of these other cakes that were designed for the show by our props designer, Jody Badalamenti. Yes. When you come and see the shop, you'll be like, are these real? Which ones are real, which ones are fake? And they look like really expensive cakes. So.
Props to the prop department.
Yes. So it's I think the set is lovely, designed by Dan Guyette. I think, we have a stalwart director, D. Terry Williams. We enjoyed working. Now, this is your second time working with D. Terry.
I love him.
I would always love to have him here because he is a hoot to chat with, as you know.
Save
me laugh.
Where is he?
It could be just him on the phone, but no, it's great to have him behind the helm for this
wonderful guy, and his wife too. Wonderful people.
Yes. So, goodness. Well, I think we are getting close to the fun portion.
Oh my gosh!
Of the interview.
I didn't know that. That wasn't the fun portion.
No, we all like to hear, but there's something about weddings that to dramatize weddings. We've been dramatizing weddings for centuries, or for all time, basically. Right. Even in Shakespeare, especially Midsummer Night's Dream. I mean, all those Shakespeare comedies have weddings in them, right? And going up through history in TV shows, and we just love a wedding. We love seeing people give birth, too, like having a baby. We love that as well. But there's so many I started thinking, there's so many musical theater shows because, excuse me, you guys are musical theater folks as well in some ways, but and you have some knowledge of that. There are so many weddings in musical theater.
It's true.
Now, so much so. Now, we don't even know. You might even not know what shows have weddings in them or don't have weddings in them. So we have a game here.
All right.
Called Wedding or No Wedding. Oh. I don't know. That's not a very clever name, but it's what. So I'm going to name a show.
Okay.
And, I got to keep track here. Hold on.
No.
I'm going to keep score because you can get a prize. So.
A prize?
Oh. Sure.
Zoe, I love you, but I'm going to.
This is going to be like, I'm going to buy you a drink after the show.
Give him the prize.
All right. So let's see. I'm going to name you a show, and you tell me if there's a wedding in it or not. Now, they can talk about weddings, but if there's not a specific wedding scene, it doesn't count.
Oh.
Do we have buzzers?
You don't have buzzers. You each are going to tell me.
Okay.
You each are just going to tell me. All right. So I'll give you. We're going to start. You guys ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Here's an easy one, I think. The drowsy chaperone.
Yes.
Wedding. Wedding or no wedding?
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes. It's all about
Yes.
a wedding.
Absolutely.
Very good. Guys and Dolls.
Yes.
Yes.
Double wedding. Yes. Which you were just in, right?
I
At
was
the
just
Muni
in,
in St. Louis.
At the Muni.
Oh my gosh! If you haven't checked out the Muni, folks, go to their website because talk about a difference in Farmers Alley.
Come
And
to
you've
St.
been in
Louis.
the Muni as well. Oh my God! It's an outdoor theater.
Almost 12,000 seats.
It's like a baseball game.
Oh, and here's the funny thing about that.
It looks
So
amazing.
I got put into that show at the last minute, and there's 11,000 seats, and you cannot stuff 11,000 programs every night. So you would walk in, and my face was on this gigantic LED screen, you know,
There
the
you
roll
go.
up, and yeah, it was a little weird.
You've never been bigger.
All
Never been
St.
bigger.
Louis is ready to see you. Okay, very good. Guys and Dolls, you got it both right. West Side Story.
The answer is no.
No.
You are correct. Yes, they talk about. They kind
Pretend.
of.
Well,
they
she
kinda
wears
have
a
They have a
veil in.
pretend
They have a
wedding.
fake. They have a fake wedding.
In
right.
right.
You guys are
Make
good.
of our
They marry
hands
each
one.
other.
Here we go.
They do kind of marry each other, but it's not an
Yeah.
official wedding.
Right, not unofficial. Crazy for You.
Crazy for You, which I've done twice.
No.
Go ahead. You answer first.
I think no.
Crazy for You. I'm going to say yes.
I think there is. I said yes. I'll have to go back to the books, and if you lose by 1 point, we'll call it.
I'm not sharing
Good.
my prize.
All right, let's go fast. Phantom of the Opera. Marriage, wedding, no. Wedding, no,
I don't know. I'm going to say no.
No.
no. Correct. Fiddler on the Roof,
Yes.
of course. Spam-A-Lot.
No.
I don't think so, but I don't know for sure.
No, both of you say no. Oh, no points there. Yes, King Arthur and the Lady of the Lake get married.
do they?
And it's very silly.
See.
I want to do that show. You should produce that show so I could be in
We
it.
did it a
just
few
did.
years ago. Yeah, I missed it. We did it at the little theater, the 200-seat one.
Okay.
Be hard to do spam, I think, in our space. But all right, Oklahoma.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes. And if you saw the new Broadway one, they get blood splattered all over them. at
Oh,
the end
yay.
In their white tux and dress.
Fantastic.
Great. Anyway, anything goes.
Anything goes. Oof. I'm going to say yes.
I don't remember.
Did you ever do anything goes?
Did we mention we're
Yes,
always
I've
the
done it several times,
always-
but I never got married.
we're always the comic characters, so we
Yes.
Yes, you're correct. Like all these shows you've probably been in, right?
yeah. Well, not spam alone.
Okay, here's an easy one. Cats. Is there a wedding in Cats?
No.
I wouldn't know because I've never seen it, thank God.
God, I hope not.
No, there's no wedding in Cats. Come on. Sound of Music?
Yes, there is a wedding. They go on their honeymoon and
Yeah,
they
but
come
do
back.
they show the wedding?
Well, does it have to be shown? I mean, they get married in the show.
Well, you said if they talk about a wedding,
Oh no,
but
there
it's
is a
not
wedding.
in
Yeah.
it.
There is a with the nuns. There's a wedding.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, my
It
goodness.
ends the first act.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
So we both say yes,
All right, yes, you're
clearly.
right.
You're
I'll give
welcome.
you that one. Hello, Dolly. See, there's a lot of shows out
I'm going to say no. I think they
No.
talk about it, but
there. No, they talk about it a lot, but no, there's
She's
not a
played
wedding.
Dolly a couple times. Right?
Every show.
I've talked about the wedding.
Tell me a show that you haven't been in. I don't know. Music Man.
Spamalot.
Music Man?
Music Man.
No.
No.
No, correct. It Should Have Been You.
Yes.
Yes. Company.
No. Oh, wait a minute.
They
She's not
sing
getting married
about
to.
it, but
I'm not getting married today. Do they have the wedding?
I don't know if they actually have
I bet
the
they
wedding,
do.
but
I'm
they
going to say
talk
yes.
about
I'm
it.
changing my answer.
I count it
to
as yes.
All right. Well, we both knew the song.
We're both
so-
cheating. though.
It's okay. Les Mis. Les Mis.
No.
No.
Oh, you guys are wrong.
Are we?
Cosette and Mary. They're
It's
married at the end of the
it's
last
another show.
scene.
Another show I
They
haven't
don't show
done.
the wedding.
The beggars at the feast. Don't they? They're at the
It's
feast,
the
right?
reception. It's not the
Oh,
wedding.
well,
you
it's the
just
wedding.
said.
Oh, man. That's a
All right.
okay, fine.
God, you're competitive.
Not.
I figured they come out when they come out in a dress or whatever. See, Zoe, see,
It's
wants words,
confusing.
right? All right. I love you. You're perfect. Now change.
I don't know that show.
No.
Love you. You're perfect. Now change.
How have you? You must
I
have
know.
done that show.
I haven't done it.
No.
I'm gonna say
I've
there
heard of
is
it,
a wedding.
just
Of
not
course there
seen
is.
it.
Yes. Hamilton.
Well, I would say yes.
Yes. Okay. I'm giving you the points. Hamilton.
Well, once again, they're at the wedding, but they don't show them getting married. So we'll say yes because
Okay, yeah.
I'm guessing
I would have
that's what
said
you
no.
consider.
I mean, I know they get married during it, but is there a wedding scene?
I mean, they play the wedding march. I
They're
said
at
I
the
counted it as yes.
Okay.
I counted it.
The scores are meaningless.
Wait,
at
he
this
said
point, but we're having
no.
fun.
So,
All right, break it, make a
Mamma
scene.
He
Mia.
said no. We're tied.
Mamma Mia, yes.
He said no.
He said no.
Oh, okay.
Okay. make
Mamma
us tied.
Mia. Yeah. Okay. That's it. That's all I have. So you guys
Yeah, we're tied.
Unless I gotta check out Crazy for You. I just could have sworn there was a wedding at the end of that.
No.
There might be.
But I don't know. Well, good
There's a
job.
big Broadway
You guys, you both got 16 of the 21 correct. Good
We've
job.
done 700 musicals between the
Oh
two
my
of us.
gosh,
No.
I swear. What would you say your favorite show? Is there a show like you'd be like, "Oh, I love doing that with Steve," or "I love doing that with Zoe"? What was like a special memory? Do you have one?
Well, Gypsy is always a
Gypsy was great.
special show for me that we were in together.
What else? I loved our very first musical we did together, which is we talked about the other
I
night,
agree.
which it's called Good News,
Oh yeah, sure.
which is hardly done anymore. It's a
Yeah.
1920s musical. That was my first show in St. Louis.
Now,
like
we didn't play opposite each
button
other,
up
but
your
we were both-
overcoat
yeah.
and
We had a lot
Life
of
is
fun
full
in
of
Brigadoon
cherries.
too. We
Yeah.
did play
Brigadoon.
opposite. We played Meg and what was my character? The sidekick guy.
Oh, I
Oh
don't
my
know.
God! It's gonna come to me in a minute.
But gosh, you guys have done
Jeff.
every show.
Jeff.
Yes.
We had a lot of fun in that.
That was a lot.
Well, guess what, you guys? You both have earned your drink of choice from the bar. Thanks to Farmers Alley Theater for your extensive knowledge of weddings and music. There's so many. That's obviously not exhaustive.
And that was a musical theater quiz, and we're not even doing a musical.
Right. I don't know. Yeah, we haven't even talked about plays, but I don't know. We always seem to come back to musicals on
Oh,
the show
Brigadoon
because we
has
love
a
them.
wedding, by
Yes.
the
Oh, there you go.
They added it.
Well, I think our time together has come to a close, you guys. I know. Thank you so much. You guys have rehearsal tonight. You guys gotta have to
We
get
do.
They're ready.
Dress
and
rehearsal.
That's right, because the cake opens this Friday, February 7th, and runs through the 23rd. Tickets are going really fast, actually. We're almost sold out for a few this weekend, and
Excited.
I think once
It's a
word of
s-
mouth.
it's a
and
special
It's
show.
very special.
I
You should
really
come
think
see it.
yes. And actually, Western Michigan University has a class called Direct Encounter with the Arts, kind of like a survey class where hundreds of students go see plays in the community, and The Cake is one of the shows
wonderful.
that they're coming to
Nice.
see. They did when we did Doubt last year. They came, and that was really cool. So you get 100 kids, college kids.
I also
in the
want to mention
audience.
there's
I
several,
think it's gonna be great.
4 or 5 shows that we do talkbacks
Oh,
after.
yes,
Which
thank
I
you.
think the talkback after the show is going to be so interesting. So if you can find out when
Yeah, I know.
those dates are,
Yeah, I think the
ask
Sunday
at the box office.
Yeah, Sunday the 9th. There's a few performances, but definitely look online or call our box office.
they're
Oh,
there.
you have them right here on the postcard. That's right. Talkbacks following on the 9th, on the 14th, 16th, 21st.
It's going to be a fascinating discussion.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. It'll be really cool. And it's a show with no intermission. It's around 90 minutes. So nice and sweet and savory.
cake at
you
the
get it.
end.
And cake at
And
the
save,
end.
save some room for cake.
Zoe, Steve, thank you so much
Thanks,
Thank
Adam.
for joining us here. And we'll see everyone else at the theater. Thank you for joining us on Inside the Alley.